I think that by making this choice, it's really pushing people away from it. And you and I have given our life to propagating it.
Yes.
And therefore it's hard on us as well because we want to
Yeah.
rally behind things that we believe in. We are into selling things of a very high calling, and both of us feel like this goes against our personal integrity and our understanding of the philosophy.
And w- I don't believe you or I are saying that that's the intention of anyone, but I do think it's the result. And I was thinking, like imagine if one of these, let's say Prabhupada disciples, they're not all Prabhupada disciples that are opposed to this idea, but many of them are. And imagine if in their life they had heard from Prabhupada and had their, I mean, they all have had this experience where they heard Prabhupada's words, they saw his example, they had this conviction to give their life to Krishna arise in their heart by the power of his words, the power of Guru Parampara coming through him. And if institutionally they would have been forced or coerced or, required to say, no, you can't take initiation from A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, but you can pick any of his godbrothers. How would they have felt? But no, but it's not them. All respects to them, but it's his words that awakened um, devotion to Krishna in my heart. It's him that I feel called upon to surrender to. How would they have felt if that were the case? And I think it would be good. As we said at the beginning of the show, I'm not saying this in like some condescending way, but I'm just saying we're trying to understand each other. Both sides need to try to understand each other, and I think that's what people really need to consider.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from the Govardhan Eco Village in Maharashtra, India, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a Bhakti Yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastubidas. He's live from Rishikesh. Welcome to the show. It's Wednesday, February 18th, 2026, episode 1735. Wow. Good morning, beautiful people. Here with Kostubi, you can't really see because his lights just went out.
Yes.
Welcome to India. It's like the old days in India where the generator would have to kick on, then you have electricity for 6 hours, and then it goes off for 6 hours.
I
How are
feel
you,
like I'm in the
Kostuba?
witness protection program over here.
Yeah, and they're gonna mask your voice. How's it
Uh,
going?
it's going
How's
really well.
Rishikesh?
It's this festival is just the best. Kirtans, oh my God. Some of them are you're just swimming, Raghunath, swimming continually and everybody's dancing and everybody's blissed out. It's nice.
And you've been given a morning class, and then you do Q&A in the evening?
Exactly. I do like an hour class in the morning. Following, the I'm right after Yogi Charu's yoga class. He's got a
Hmm.
nice full crowd in there. And then I do my class, and then in the evening, I from 7 till 8:30, I do like a Q&A, and that's you just never know what you're gonna get. You just
Sure.
open it up, and it can be a lot of fun.
You do that in the hall, or you do it outside like you did last year?
Outside the hall, there's tent set up. There's like a tent for doing
Oh,
henna.
cool.
There's a tent for getting saris and gopi
Super
dots, and
cool.
and I just heard that perhaps next year that our friend Parmananda's son Kana may have a tattoo little tent set
Tattoo
up
booth.
there.
All right.
Yeah,
Everybody gets a tattoo.
yeah.
Very
So
interesting.
it's been nice, really nice.
I will say, Rishikesh, if you don't know, it's a classic city of yogis would come there.
Yes, yes.
Since I've been younger, though, it's been sort of like hijacked by yoga schools trying to cash in on people coming to India and sort of following American trends of yoga. And I'm sure there's real yogis there too, but it's been very sort of commercialized.
True.
a lot of hippies go there, a lot of, hash or pot smoking, and there always is a seeker that still comes, and they always get a little let down. Now the Ganga's there, so it's always got this potency of the Ganga, a beautiful backdrop of the Himalayas. But for the longest time, it was always sort of a watered down, commercialized, um, just sort of an echo of what it
Scene.
was.
Yeah.
And I really feel like Indradyumna Swami and the people at Bhakti Yoga Rishikesh really have brought that spirit back, and
Yeah.
it's quite impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. It really
Yeah.
is.
Miss
Should we,
Panapriya,
yeah,
you
check
have
in
some
with Panapriya?
announcements?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I do. I thought that our Wisdom of the Sages Italy retreat this summer was completely full because it usually is full by now. But I
Okay.
just heard that we do have spaces available. And that's
Okay.
July 4th through 11th.
Hmm.
And it's always a great time if you want to come to Tuscany with us. Go to wisdomofthesages.com and you can find out more information. But sign up soon because I think it will fill up.
It's going to fill up, but we
Yeah.
got a good group, and yeah, super excited about it this year.
Yeah, it's always such a fun time.
It is.
Yeah. And then also our friend Maya's album just was released. I'm not going to say it dropped, but it was released this week.
dropped.
It's called Pushpanjali by Vishnu Maya. So check it out and download it from Spotify or wherever you get your podcast, wherever you get your music.
Okay.
And then we'll be back on tomorrow at this time at 6:30 a.m. Eastern time.
Thank you, Panapriya.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So, Kustuba,
Yeah.
what's your plan for today?
Well, do the show, and then I got to go and run to that Q&A booth.
No, what's your plan for the show today?
Oh, well, we read Bhagavatam, but we don't have a nugget today. I just thought, yesterday's show was an important one. It's kind of not a direction that we usually go, where we talk about, like, I don't know, the internal, institutional, political issues.
Right.
But we did feel that this is something that touched our community significantly. I didn't hear this, but someone told me Hridayananda Maharaj after this decision, he said this is like one of the three major kind of crises in ISKCON's history or something like that,
Wow.
Yeah, well, in any case, I haven't heard it and heard how he substantiated that, but it's touching a lot of people. There's no doubt about that. And, I got quite a bit of feedback. I understand that you did too.
Yeah, I did.
And a lot of people were appreciative to hear us address that. Since yesterday, I came across one clip from Nam Rasa's podcast, and it was the Vaishnavi Narayani Devi, who is the one somehow somehow she got through the door and she's still in there, right?
She slipped in the door before they slammed shut.
Yeah, and so she is an initiating guru. And
I listened to that one. What did you
you
pick
listened to
out?
the whole interview?
I think pretty much most of it.
And
What
what
did you
was
pick out?
all these years I've really never known her. But
I don't know
was
her
very-
either. I was
I
pretty
was very
impressed by
with
her.
the clips. You tell me about the interview. What you thought about the interview?
First of all, I just think there are these people, men and women, who've been sort of rank and file behind the scenes. They weren't maybe celebrity devotees, like we know the celebrities. There's and it wasn't a bad thing to be a celebrity. But they got a lot of time with Prabhupada, a lot of personal time, or in his inner circle. But there's a lot of rank and file who helped the sort of Sankirtan army move on.
Yeah.
And she just impressed me as one of these people who just met their guru and said, I'm all in. It's over. I'm burning the ships. I'm not going back. I'm fully invested in this. And to me, that's incredibly impressive. And these are the type of people who Prabhupada himself would call pure devotees. Now, they may not be Mahabhagavats, like hit this highest point, but the fact that they're fully committed, there's something potent in that. Even there's that famous verse, Apichet Sudaracharo, when they talk about, hey, if a person's following the path and they have some horrible fall down, but they just pick themselves up and get back on the path, you still have to consider them saintly. Why? because they're resolute in determination, but they have some shortcoming from their previous activities and they're trying to move forward. And so these people, especially we see with ladies, we see this. Oftentimes they give up everything. They take a humble role and they've just given 110%. And it's so impressive. And when I walked away from that interview, I was just like highly impressed. Yet another, like Prabhupada's turned ordinary people into saints. That was my takeaway.
Well, that's really interesting because you shared something yesterday. I believe you spoke about her directly. And then I saw that clip, and what you were sharing to me, when you said it yesterday, and then when I saw the clip, it resonated in me still so much more. She was describing how she became a guru. And she's just like a totally down-to-earth lady, Yeah. She was a teacher, I believe, in Vrindavan. If I know, was she teaching in the Vrindavan Institute of Higher Education? She became a teacher, and so she was teaching the Shastra. She was teaching, the Bhagavad Gita, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, and her students were approaching her, and that's just the most natural thing in the world, right? Like the words that you spoke touched me. They ignited something within my heart. The commitment that you were just speaking about, Raghunath, it's like it lit up in her heart. She spoke realized words that ignited the same commitment in the heart of another. And then the most natural thing in the world is to say, please accept me as your disciple. I want you to be my guru.
It doesn't get more organic than that.
Yes. And she was saying, I didn't ask for this. I didn't want it. But I was trying to avoid it, Sure. But when you have a very sincere disciple and then the Vaishnavas turn to you and they say, you know what, you need to, out of compassion, you need to do this, to share what you've given so that they can receive it. Their hearts are connected to you. And when an institution wants to get in the way of that, it's something that breaks the heart of the disciple. Why? Why? This is real. What's happened? That's the real diksha. There's a transferal of divya jnana, and it ignites this commitment wherein one's past. You were just saying one's past karma is burned. It's really Jiva Goswami's definition of what diksha is, and so that happens, and it happens in a genuine way, in a real way. And then if an institution says, well, we don't recognize that, and you're going to have to just get initiated by somebody else. You can receive instruction from this person, but you're going to have to commit yourself in the same way to somebody else.
This other person.
I don't feel that way to someone else. I feel that way to this person.
This person we've accepted, and we're gonna sort of guide you over to this person.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is something almost mystical in the transmission.
It is mystical. It is.
It's divine. In that transmission. And like I was saying yesterday, you can't institute that. It's an affair of the heart.
Right. That's exactly the point. And I felt it so much more when I heard her speak. When I was hearing her speak, I said, this woman is a true representative. This woman is, this is what you want a guru to be. Just like this, humble, straightforward, knows her stuff, not wanting any glory, but
no air about her.
Yeah, called by the disciples, genuine surrender and submission, right. Called by Krishna's, and Prabhupada's, calling to represent me. This is what Prabhupada said. I want that all my sons and daughters can initiate, because he recognized these connections will happen. And when we don't want to in any way stand in the way of the flow of this. We want this to spread like wildfire. We want every opportunity when someone's saying, I want Krishna. Well, here you go. We don't, the last thing we want to do is interfere with that flow. And so Prabhupada said, all my sons and daughters, Prabhupada was, feeling what he received through his Guru Parampara, he gave it, he could see, it's not just my male disciples that are getting it, my female disciples are carrying it in their hearts too. They're understanding this philosophy, they're changed by this, they're purified by it, and they can share it. I need as many representatives as I can get. Let it flow.
No matter what, and you were very right on with all the things that you quoted, but the real demonstration of it is this person turning me on to God? Are they
That's it.
igniting something in me and God? You can quote whatever you want. I want to show you that this person has got me so inspired in God consciousness.
Yeah.
All I want to do is hear about Krishna.
Right.
So
I'm ready to give up drugs. I'm ready to give up sex. I'm ready to give up I want it.
because of this person. Now, interestingly enough, when a person joins a temple nowadays, I think it's also very common that organic connection may get covered by an almost type of like high school type of cheerleader type of like, hey, who are you getting initiated by? And, are you going to get initiated this Maharaj or this Maharaj? Very easily you can get caught up in currents of a cult of personality.
True.
And not necessarily because you study with this person on a regular basis and they touch your heart. So the story of what she was doing, she was just their teacher naturally, and they were getting turned on to God from just associating with her. There was no coercion. There was no five guys at the cafeteria during lunch and saying, who are you going to get? Oh, you should really, sell. They weren't getting proselytized or what do you call
Canvassed.
it? Canvassed by disciples of another guru. It was very, very organic, and this is the real deal.
Yeah. All right, Raghunath. I was impressed though when I saw those clips. I was really impressed.
You know what? It figures itself out. It figures itself out. I wish it could figure itself out as quick as we'd like it to figure itself out. But I don't give up on the
I guess you're kind of saying you have faith that in the end the truth wins out.
Sure. I'd like for everything to be perfect within my lifetime. It may not. Or it may take 4 years or a year or 6 months or 10 years. But I don't know. I always feel like myself on the periphery of the Hare Krishna movement.
Yes.
I'm sort of like riding the edge of it. I never feel like I'm in the midst. I feel like I don't operate better in the center of it. I feel like I do good sort of like hovering around the outside of it. I feel committed to it, and I have no ill feelings of it. But what I do, I observe it, and I think that by making this choice, it's really pushing people away from it. And you and I have given our life to propagating it.
Yes.
And therefore it's hard on us as well, because we want to rally behind things that we believe in. We are into selling things of a very high calling, and both of us feel like this goes against our personal integrity and our understanding of the philosophy.
And I don't believe you or I are saying that that's the intention of anyone, but I do think it's the result. And I was thinking, like imagine if one of these, let's say Prabhupada disciples, they're not all Prabhupada disciples that are opposed to this idea, but many of them are. And imagine if in their life they had heard from Prabhupada and they had they all have had this experience where they heard Prabhupada's words, they saw his example, they had this conviction to give their life to Krishna arise in their heart by the power of his words, the power of Guru Parampara coming through him. And if institutionally they would have been forced or coerced or, required to say, no, you can't take initiation from A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, but you can pick any of his godbrothers. How would they have felt? But no, but it's not them. All respects to them, but it's his words that awakened devotion to Krishna in my heart. It's him that I feel called upon to surrender to. How would they have felt if that were the case? And I think it would be good. As we said at the beginning of the show, I'm not saying this in like some condescending way, but I'm just saying we're trying to understand each other. Both sides need to try to understand each other. And I think that's what people really need to consider.
Mm. Whew.
Okay.
Anyway, I think the Hare Krishna movement will continue on.
It'll be okay.
It'll
be
continue on. It'll work itself out. And
If we can speak up, but if we can do it respectfully, then we'll please Krishna, we'll please the Guru Parampara, we'll work our problems out. If we condemn each other and fight and bicker, well, then everything gets stalled.
Then we
everything
lost,
gets
yeah.
stalled. Yeah.
Okay. You want to get into the Bhagavatam?
I'm down.
Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam dirayat. Before we start in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, which is a very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance in class in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 20, Text 10. We're here in description of the rainy season, which have a lot of these beautiful analogies, this chapter.
Yes.
I really like it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to jump right in here on Text 10.
With the
advent of the rainy season. Did we do Text 9? I don't know. Mara thought we did.
Okay, if she says so, I accept.
With the advent of the rainy season, the insignificant streams, which had become dry, began to swell and then strayed from their proper courses. Right, the rainy season in these tropical countries, it comes down heavy, monsoon, for like 4 months. So there's a little description.
Yes.
Like the body, property, and money of a man controlled by the urges of his senses. Ooh. Insignificant streams, which have become dry, became to swell, then strayed from their proper courses, like the body, property, and money of a man controlled by the urges of the senses.
I think this, it does feel like this chapter has a different tone than the other chapters. It's just all these analogies, nature analogies, and tying them into some kind of Vedanta, some kind of yogic, some kind of bhakti framework. But it's kind of really beautiful, and it's just interesting to imagine this Shukadeva Goswami, this young boy, sitting there in the assembly of these sages with Maharaj Parikshit, now just days from his death, and just speaking this poetry. It's interesting.
This verse especially speaks to me because, you and I know people who are very talented, or we hear of people. You get people like Marilyn Monroe, or you get people like Elvis Presley, people like Kurt Cobain, who have some talent. In one sense, they start, as they become more successful, they get more controlled by their senses, and then all of their talent is just like a stream that's out of control, and it's just wiping away fields and flowing over the boundaries of the river. And all of a sudden, all the good qualities get lost within that. Text 11, the newly grown grass made the earth emerald green. The Indragopa insects, those are considered the tiny, tiny little insects, added a reddish hue. And the white mushrooms added further color and circles of shade. Thus, the earth appeared like a person who has suddenly become rich.
Okay.
Person gets a little wealthy and they look a little shinier.
They start wearing some jewels, a little bling.
Yeah, a little bling. Now, with their wealth of grains, the fields gave joy to the farmers. But those fields created a remorse in the hearts of those who were too proud to engage in farming and who failed to understand how everything is under the supreme control.
Under the control of the Supreme.
Control of the, I'm sorry. With their wealth of grains, the fields gave joy to the farmers, but those fields created remorse in the hearts of those who were too proud to engage in farming.
So, I suppose the rains, like if you're a city person, when it rains, it's like bad news, right? It's just like,
It's one way to look at it, yeah.
but when you're a farmer, when it rains, it's good news.
Hmm.
And I suppose typically, though those agrarian communities they naturally feel a connection to God. They naturally, when they rain, it's not just like when it rains, it's not just like, oh, what an inconvenience. It's kind of like, thank you, God, because
Right.
it's
It's so
through
dependent
this.
on you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's through this that we were able to produce. It's through this that the earth gives its all these treasures, and it's through this rain that we're sustained. So you naturally kind of feel that. And proud people, they don't have gratitude in the same way.
As all creatures of the land and water took advantage of newly fallen rainwater, their forms became attractive and pleasing, just as a devotee becomes beautiful by engaging in the service of the Supreme Lord.
It's true, isn't it?
Oh yeah, really. Everything. Um, you just see somebody who's a pujari, and just seeing their on the altar offering, anybody anybody off the streets. You get trained to become a brahmana, and then you worship the deity. It's like the most beautiful act ever. And the incense
It's
and the
true.
fanning of the ghee lamp, everything becomes like an artistic offering.
I was thinking of, I believe it was Jagatarini Devi, who was, a movie actress before she became a devotee.
Movie with Mick Jagger.
Yeah, I forget what that was called. And she's from Australia. And then she became a devotee. And in the newspaper in Australia, they showed two pictures of her next to another. One where she's looking like a glamorous actress.
Mm.
And the other one, like she was kind of like, I think she was like in the kitchen or something. Like she was wearing like an apron, and she had her hair kind of, how like ladies put like a bandana over their head,
Right.
and she was just kind of like engaged in, uh, Greg DeGase's got it. The movie was called Performance. And and I believe what the newspaper was kind of doing was juxtaposing the two with each other and kind of saying like, look
Right.
what she's become. Like, right? She was this glamorous,
Right.
person, and
She
now
blew
she's
it.
looks like a common domesticated person or something. But Prabhupada looked at both pictures and said, oh, this one, I don't remember what he said, but it's not so nice. But here, look how beautiful she looks here, like when she was engaged in
Right.
service. And it's true. It really is true. You see people shine. They're letting go of their anxieties. They're feeling like they're well situated in the world. They've let go of a lot of their resentments. You get lighter, and devotees do glow like that.
Mm. Yeah, we were sitting at lunch with some Prabhupada disciples. And they were talking about different temples and different places we've been. Oh, that person's such a nice devotee. Oh, that person. It's almost like you say that again and again. You start to realize, you know what? There's a lot of nice devotees out there, really nice devotees.
Yeah,
And that's our criteria for success. We don't say he's a really wealthy guy or the really cool guy. We're like, just a nice guy.
yeah.
Okay, so text 13, 14.
14. Yeah.
Where the rivers joined the ocean, it became agitated, its waves blown out by the wind, just as the mind of an immature yogi becomes agitated because he is still tainted by lust and attached to the objects of sense gratification. So,
That's
where's the peace? Where's the beauty? A controlled mind. But if you let one of those senses wander, all of a sudden the yogi who was sitting still in total peace, now he's like looking around. What am I doing here anyway? I'm sure there's more pleasure out there. It disturbs everything.
it reminds me of the Gita verse, but it's almost like the opposite.
Right.
Text 270, right? A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires
Mm.
that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace and not the one who strives to satisfy such desires.
Maya is fishing for the jiva. She's baiting the hooks and trying to pull us in different directions of how can you be satisfied in this material world? Come on, try this one. Try this flavor. Just different flavors of illusion. Sometimes you go to different countries and I travel and I think, oh, look at this illusion. This is a cool illusion. We don't have this illusion in America. Maybe this one will satisfy my senses. Now, it's all illusion.
Yeah.
Text 15. Just as devotees whose minds are absorbed in the personality of Godhead remain peaceful, even when attacked by all sorts of dangers. The mountains in the rainy season were not at all disturbed by the repeated striking of the rain-bearing clouds. That was a nice analogy.
I mean, that's again something that you and I have had the fortune of seeing people that can respond to even being attacked, and be unmoved by it.
Yeah.
We were talking about this in the Q&A last night. People were asking about this, how do you give up resentments? And it's really something, I would just be speaking about it entirely theoretically. We could read these books and speak about it theoretically. And that's fine, but it doesn't carry the same weight. But when you've actually been close to someone who can do this, when you've actually seen it up close, I've seen devotees who are being publicly slandered. And their friends or those that really appreciate them are saying, oh my God, this is so unfair. Oh my God, you're being treated so poorly. And they become upset with the person that's doing the slander. And then when that yogi just remains peaceful and says, no, it's not so bad. Oh, these things happen. It's nothing to be concerned about. And actually they actually begin to speak about the person's good qualities that's attacking them. Then there you have a wise person. There you have a person that moves through this world with grace. There you have a person that is able to absorb their mind deeply in meditation and not be rocked by these things, because they zoom out, and what we see as big, they see as very small and insignificant.
It's so insignificant, yeah.
Yeah.
During the rainy season, during the rainy season, the roads not being cleansed become covered with grass and debris, and were thus difficult to make out. These roads are like religious scriptures that the Brahmins no longer study, and that thus become corrupted and covered over by the passage of time.
Interesting.
Very interesting. They're still Brahmins by birth, but because they've given up the study and the practice, what does it mean?
And it speaks something to the. This relates to what we're talking about, about
yes, it does.
Whole issue, right? It's that there are so many different texts, and they speak on so many different levels to so many different types of people in so many different kind of circumstances at so many different times. It's a massive body of Vedic literature, and it's going to have quotes for anything that you want. It's going to, whatever position you take, it's going to support you can find something to speak for your position. But what's real important that we understand is that the role of the acharya, right? The role, and in our case, like we say, the founder acharya, right? That there's a person that we all have faith in. We saw Srila Prabhupada be uniquely empowered to speak and transmit bhakti to the world. It's kind of the thing that, like, you really have to be blind not to see it. And so, as a community, we all say, okay, we all agree that we're Vedantins, that we accept the Vedic scriptures as authoritative. We all agree that we're Vaishnavas, that it's the Vaishnava interpretation of them that's consistent and logical and that delivers the highest good. We all accept that we're followers of Sri Chaitanya and his followers, the Goswamis, who gave their very particular churning of all of that information so that we could achieve the very highest goal of it. And on top of that, we all accept that it's Srila Prabhupada who is uniquely empowered to take that vast body of information and present for us our sadhana, our practice. Is because he decided that we're going to take these certain vows and chant this certain number of rounds, that we say, okay, because we have faith in you. And it's because of our faith in him that we follow in the way that we do, and all the details as he laid them out. So we can go and quote anything from, we could jump over him. And this is one thing he said, you can't even understand my guru except through me. I'm taking all of this and I'm packaging it in understanding its essence. I'm packaging it and presenting it to you in a way I can understand it, will come alive in your life. And with Prabhupada, he's also concerned with, and I'm packaging it in such a way where it can spread around the world. And so we can't jump over him and make some other interpretation of that vast body of literature. We accept it through him. And that's why we're kind of adamant on that point, is that he was saying, this is my desire. Sure, you can find quotes about Guru that say this and say that. The huge thrust of them, that it's based on merit, not on any bodily consideration. And he's the one that's specifically and explicitly saying, I want my daughters to be doing this. So we accept his specific interpretation of it, his specific presentation of it. Once we try to jump over him, then everything becomes a mess, because you can begin to justify you'll never come to a conclusion.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Though the clouds, this is text 17, though the clouds are well-wishing friends of all living beings, the lightning, fickle in its affinities, move from one group of clouds to another, like lusty women unfaithful even to virtuous men.
The nerve.
The nerve. Or lusty men.
Well, this one's speaking about the lusty women on this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. But it's true.
Lusty men can be also flickering.
Do
When
men
the
get
curved
lusty,
bow of
for
Indra.
real?
What's that?
Do men actually get lusty?
Well, most men don't. Not. Not. When the curved bow of Indra, aka the rainbow,
Yes.
appeared in the sky, which had the quality of thundering sound, it was unlike ordinary bows, because it did not rest upon a string. Similarly, when the Supreme Lord appears in this world, which is the interaction of the material qualities, he is unlike ordinary persons because he remains free from all the material qualities and independent of all material conditions. The Lord comes into the material world, but he's not bound by karma. Right? And we use the example of the warden comes into the prison, looks around, but he's allowed to leave the prison as well. Text 19. During the rainy season, the moon, which was prevented from appearing directly by the covering of the clouds, which were themselves illumined by the moon's rays. Let me read that again. During the rainy season, the moon was prevented from appearing directly by the covering of the clouds, which were themselves illumined by the moon's rays.
So the clouds
Similarly,
are covering the moon and at the same time being illumined by the moon's rays. Okay.
Similarly, the living beings in material existence is prevented from appearing directly by the covering of the false ego, which is itself illumined by the consciousness of the pure soul.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
That's
Good
very
analogy.
interesting. Yeah, the living being in material existence is our real. That goes to what we were saying earlier. Like a devotee, when they're engaged in devotional service, they start to shine because they're not covered by the false ego. They're not embracing some false identity, but their real pure identity, that real blissful, ananda of the self begins to shine through. And so it's like It's here being, compared to the moon. When the clouds open up, then it really starts to shine. Okay.
I have an upsetting story. Text 20 reminded me of my upsetting story.
Are you going to share it, or who did it upset?
Now I was sitting. Yeah, I told you about the little
Here we
peacocks
go.
that were hatched by the hen.
Oh no, Raghunath, no.
The peacocks were hatched by the
no.
hen, and the hen raised the peacocks, and then Radha Swami brought me to see them the other day. And the peacocks, and I took a photo of it. I'll show it to you.
Radha, hold on. I thought you were talking
This
about
is
back
here
at
at
Super Soul.
TV, not at Super Soul.
No.
Okay.
Here.
Tell me this again. I
Radha
need a whole
Swami-
reframing.
Okay,
Of-
Radha
of-
Swami said, "I want you to see something." And there was two little peacocks, small.
Okay.
They said this hen had hatched the peacocks.
Okay.
And they say hens have this ability to hatch other eggs and then raise them. So I saw, well, I didn't know sure, but it was a sure. They do that. And so it was so adorable because they follow her around like the mother. But since that was when we were here in January, now Radha Swami called me back the other day and said, I want you to see something. And the hen was sitting on the peacocks, but the peacocks were much bigger now. Like they were much bigger than the hen. And the peacock was, and the hen was sitting on
Kind of
both
keeping
of them.
them warm still.
Keeping
Because-
them warm and like uncomfortably.
It was really
It
cute.
was so cute. Like this hen was just sitting, balancing on these two giant baby peacocks.
Because normally the chicks would still be small at that age.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But they were big now. At this point, they were as big, if not bigger, than a chicken. And they were crushed together, sitting under the sun. So then today, I was just happened to be sitting, doing some writing at the Bhajan Ashram where Maharaj stays, just sitting in a chair, and some VIPs showed up, and Maharaj got off his cart, and they bowed down to Maharaj. Maharaj bowed down to them, and since I saw Maharaj there, I got up immediately and bowed down, and he immediately went to past the VIPs, came right up to me and goes, Raghunath, I got to talk to you. This is serious. And he walked me away from everybody. And he said, some dogs broke into our area and killed the peacocks.
Oh,
And and he goes, I didn't want to tell you this, but I knew you would want to know. And I just said, this material world is cruel.
Maharaj, all the birds I'm connected with die short. They live short lives.
I know. Keep me away from all birds.
That's sad.
I'm getting bees this year.
Okay.
Getting 3 hives. Thanks to Natalie. Natalie's father is
What do they call that?
what do they call it?
Beekeeper?
An apiary. An apiarian. Yeah. We're getting 3 nukes of bees. Okay. The peacocks became festive and cried out in joyful greeting when they saw the clouds arrive. Just as people distressed in household life feel pleased when the pure devotees of the infallible Lord, infallible Supreme Lord visit them.
Okay.
Yep. The trees had grown thin and dry, but after they drank the newly fallen rainwater through their feet, their various bodily features blossomed. Similarly, one whose body has grown thin and weak from austerity again exhibits his healthy bodily features upon enjoying the material objects gained through austerity.
Just talking about subtle things, how the world operates, right? Through austerity, one can get material powers, material gain.
The cranes continued dwelling on the shores of the lakes, although the shores were agitated during the rainy season. Just as materialistic persons with contaminated minds always remain at home, despite the many disturbances there. Interesting. The cranes continued dwelling on the shores of the lakes, although the shores were agitated during the rainy season. They don't have the common sense to move away from there.
Right.
In the same sense, there is a deep inherent knowledge within India that a lot of times when settling down, so to speak, we think that's going to be the most comfortable thing. Oftentimes it causes us the most distress.
So much.
And the idea was that you just go away and you find God and you find some peace. But the attached people don't have that in their intelligence
DNA.
bank,
Yeah.
memory banks. Or when Indra sent forth his rain, the floodwaters broke through the irrigation dikes in the agricultural fields. Just as in Kali Yuga, the atheists' false theories break down the boundaries of Vedic injunctions. Ooh. Right? When those floodwaters come, you ever read stories of floods, of dams being broken, and how they could just wash away villages?
I'm not into that kind of stuff.
Oh man, it's a thing. It's a thing.
I'm sure it is.
Oh, it's so scary. So here, the false theories of atheists break the boundaries of Vedic injunctions. They justify everything.
I'd be interested to see the commentaries on that.
Mm.
What text is
Text
this?
24, 23.
Text 23. See if we get anything quick. When injured, this is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. When Indra was making a commotion by too much rain, owing to the influence of the conceit of being God, thus there is a similarity with Kali. This simile is to be rejected. Some of these commentaries are really tough to interpret. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay.
The clouds, impelled by the winds, released their nectarian water for the benefits of all living beings, just as kings, instructed by their Brahmin priest, dispense charity to the citizens.
That's the way society is supposed to work, right?
Yeah.
The leaders are passionate, worldly people that have the capacity to engage in conflict and all the the stresses, and
all
then
the
they have these
diplomacy of running a village, a town, a kingdom.
all
but they're
of
led.
They're
led by those who are detached and wise.
Yeah, and led to be kind, be kind, take care of everyone. Yeah.
The clouds impelled by when the Vrindavan forest had thus become resplendent, filled with ripe dates and jambu fruits, Lord Krishna, surrounded by his cows and cowherd boyfriends, and accompanied by Sri Balaram, entered that forest to enjoy.
So this is almost like it's almost like a musical composition where, like, for a long time it was like laying down a foundation, and finally the subject, of the composition appeared. It's like we've been hearing 25 or 24 previous verses describing the forest of Vrindavan and using all these poetic analogies, and then here we see Krishna appears with his cowherd friends in that forest.
The cows had to move slowly because of their weighty milk bags, but they quickly ran to the Supreme Personality of Godhead as soon as he called them, their affection for him causing their udders to become wet. The Lord saw the joyful...
Right? As soon as we heard about Krishna, then immediately there's this verse about the affection that Krishna's devotees feel for him. And so even the cows, when they see him, they have physical reactions in them, the motherly love that they're feeling just overwhelming them.
The cows had to move slowly because of their weighty milk bags.
This one here.
Okay. The Lord saw the joyful Aborigine girls of the forest, the trees dripping with sweet sap, and the mountain waterfalls, whose resounding indicated that there were caves nearby. When it rained, the Lord would sometimes enter a cave or the hollow of a tree to play and to eat the roots and the fruits. Lord Krishna would take his meal of boiled rice and yogurt sent from home in the company of Lord Shankarshan, that's Balaram, and the cowherd boys who regularly ate with him. They would all sit down to eat on a large stone near the water.
Wow.
Lord Krishna watched the contented bulls and calves and cows sitting on the green grass and grazing with closed eyes, and he saw that the cows were tired from the burden of their heavy milk bags. Thus, observing the beauty and opulence of Vrindavan's rainy season, a perennial source of great happiness, the Lord offered all respect to that season, which was expanded from his own internal potency. I really want to come to the eco-village during the rainy season.
I hear it's incredibly beautiful at that time.
Yeah, the mountains are dripping with waterfalls.
Yeah.
Do you know how beautiful that Prema Sarovar is
Yeah, with the
right now?
swans now.
Yeah. They're making a second one. That Surya
Okay.
Kund is going to be just like that.
Wow.
It's unbelievable how fast things are moving here. While Lord Rama and Keshava, it's Krishna and Balaram, were thus dwelling in Vrindavan, the fall season arrived, and when the sky is cloudless, the water clear, and the wind gentle. The autumn season, which regenerated the lotus flowers, also restored the various bodies of water to their original purity, just as the process of devotional service purifies the mind of fallen yogis when they return to it.
This
Well,
is
isn't
really
that
very
good news?
beautiful. Yeah, it's very good news. And
No
so,
matter what, whether you stumble and fall, you get back, and you know, obviously, when you're stumbling and fall on a spiritual path, that means your mind gets polluted. Your mind becomes fallen. You make bad choices. You get back up, you jump back on the horse, and guess what? All the Maya starts to drift away again, and you're back on track again.
it's I'm reminded of when I interviewed Radhika Raman Prabhu, Dr. Ravi Gupta,
Yeah.
Professor Ravi Gupta, who's, a scholar of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And I asked him, by not understanding the Sanskrit, not hearing the poetry in the Sanskrit, not understanding the subtleties in Sanskrit that may not quite make it through translation, are we really missing out on very much from the Bhagavatam? And, I was half hoping that he would say, no, you're getting the full thing, but he's like, no, you're missing out. You're really missing out. I was like, great, thank you. But
Not that we're missing out on the essence, but we're missing out on the layers of beauty that are in this.
Yes, and a lot of the relishing can take place there. So, like, I remember when I was recently in Vrindavan, it was really nice. One of the people that was really helping organize the entire thing for us was a Gaurav Prabhu, from the Love Braj, who's a Radharaman Goswami. His family goes back so many generations in caring for the Radharaman deity in Vrindavan. So he's like a real Brijbasi, really deep into our Bhagavatam culture. And he's got a place, Love Braj has like a little outpost, just a bit, a short rickshaw ride away, where they take care of the cows. It's kind of like a Care for Cows thing, where they help injured animals and all that. They're beautiful cows and really nice setup there. And they made in that really nice place, they made like Indian street food for us, but like we could trust it, because it was
Nice.
being done very, yeah. And it was a little chilly out, and it was nighttime, so they had these kind of like, those kind of heaters, like they're kind of lampposts.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah.
heater thing. So, you could get around that. They had nice kind of like cushions laid out on the ground, like mattresses laid out, and with the big bolster pillows and blankets, and you could just sit there next to the heater, and then they had these performers singing traditional Brijbasi bhajans and singing verses from Bhagavatam.
Oh, wow.
And it was so civilized, it was really quite beautiful. And I could imagine sitting and hearing someone sing through this chapter, right? Like just singing all these verses, where it was spent 24 verses just describing the beauty of the forest, not just describing the beauty of the forest, but tying it into all these lessons about observations about life. But then then in the middle of it, it drops in, then Krishna and Balaram and the cows and the cowherd boys, they appear in this beautiful song. And you hear about the love that the devotees feel for Krishna, what the cows are feeling, etc. And then it uses this beautiful, because this is something that you do see if you're in tune with nature and if you live through a monsoon season, is that the monsoon stirs up all, because there's so much heavy flow of water in the rivers. It makes the rivers very muddy, and it stirs up the ponds and all of that, so that the water becomes like brownish. But then, towards the end of it, the final rains, they just kind of, when they enter the water, they just kind of bring all the mud down and everything settles and the water becomes clear again. And it's a beautiful analogy for the consciousness here, right? The autumn season, which regenerated the lotus flowers, also restored the various bodies of water to their original purity. So the lotuses are being regenerated by the water, and the bodies of water are being restored to the original purity by the final rains, just kind of settling all the mud in them. And then it says, because we're just hearing a description of the beauty of the love of Krishna's cows for Krishna and Balaram. And when you hear that, when you meditate on that, then it's just like that rain coming into your consciousness, all the anxieties, all the stresses, all the attachments, that these descriptions have the power to just purify, to just like fall on it like gentle rain and push down all the mud and leave you like with a clear awareness, a pure awareness, just as the process of devotional service purifies the minds of the fallen yogis when they return to it. Very beautiful.
Super nice. By the way, Gaurav is now called Gauranga Krishna Goswami.
Yeah, I believe it's Gauranga
exactly.
Krishna Goswami.
Gauranga Krishna Goswami is initiating Guru in Radharaman line, but he's also doing a program, if you're in Vrindavan, on the 4th. He's also doing a very civilized holy festival.
Oh,
and it's right across from the Krishna and Balaram temple, where they're going to have prasad, they're going to have holy, they're going to have kirtan going on all day long. It's an all-day festival. I don't think I'm going to make it in time for it. Sadly.
On the 4th.
It's on the 4th, yeah.
All right, March 4th. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to give a shout out there.
Nice.
Okay. Prana,
I think we're out of time, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I did take some notes. Prabhupada has turned ordinary people into saints.
True.
He certainly is, yeah.
Transmitting bhakti is an affair of the heart. It can't be instituted.
You can institute it, but it's
An affair of the heart.
It's actually an affair of the heart. You can't institute an affair of the heart.
There we go. Let bhakti spread like wildfire.
Nice.
Is this person turning me to God and inspiring me to surrender?
Yeah, are they?
That's the question.
I like questions. Sometimes I like to include a question, the takeaway. Worshipping the Lord makes devotees beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Peace and beauty is a controlled mind.
Nice.
A real yogi can zoom out and see what is really significant.
That's what they do.
Yeah. Meditate on the love and affection of Krishna and Balaram's cows.
Purify your mind.
Purify the mind that way. And this material world is a tough place to be a bird.
Oh, well, not the whole material world, but the domain in a certain
well, both GD and
circumference
Super Soul Farm, but we know Super Soul Farm for sure.
Am I getting blamed for the death of those peacocks?
No, you can't.
I'm not saying it was your fault, but it is an interesting coincidence.
Thanks to everybody for joining us.